the station on your side. You're watching Wavy News 10 on Fox 43.
No matter, what terror a person might go through, it always stays with them. And, I know it'll always stay with me.
Nearly 1 year later, and the traumatic moments at Rich Neck Elementary School are still fresh for Abby Zwerner. Tonight, she looks back at that day just hours before the anniversary. Plus, all new tonight, we have 1 year ago tomorrow, Newport News made national news. A 6-year-old student shot his first grade teacher at Rich Neck Elementary School right in front of the class. Violence is a difficult concept for such young minds and hearts to process. Only on 10, our Nick Broadway caught up with family members of those students 1 year later.
He said everybody was screaming, hollering.
It's trauma Alicia Thompson and her son are working through together. Based on what her son says, the adults did not take enough action when he told them his classmate had a gun.
My message to the community is we have to stop taking out our frustrations on people who are innocent.
We begin tonight with developments in the mass shooting at a Chesapeake Walmart Tuesday night. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marielena Valores. Law enforcement tells our investigative team that the shooter left a manifesto on his phone. In it, he tried to explain why he made the decision to pull the trigger and kill 6 of his colleagues before turning the gun on himself.
We begin here at 6:30 with breaking news out of Newport News. Police are investigating a deadly crash near Christopher Newport University. Our Michelle Wolf is live at the scene gathering details right now. And Michelle, what have you learned?
Yeah, Amy, I'm standing on Warwick Boulevard right across the street from Christopher Newport University. And across the street is where Newport News police have closed off Warwick Boulevard from J. Clyde Morris Boulevard down to Sweetbriar Drive.
We have 2 big stories we're covering here at 6:30, including a push to take back the community after a deadly shooting in Norfolk. Plus, there might be some winter weather ahead for us. Meteorologist Steve Bandero is standing by with a look at rain and some snow that's moving on in. But first, let's get to that push to take back the community. A Norfolk community is moving from mourning to doing something about it after a deadly shooting earlier this week. Police are getting ready to revisit that neighborhood. Tonight, they'll be on East Olney Road. That's where Edward Collins was shot and killed on Monday. 10 on your side's Michelle Wolf is there now to talk about how they plan to take back the community. Michelle? Ahead tonight at 6:30, all eyes are on the skies ahead of the upcoming weekend. We're expecting some much-needed rain, but it may be a little too much as a tropical system turns along the coast. In addition to heavy wind, Hampton Roads is bracing for possible tidal flooding brought on by the storm. Good evening and thanks for joining us here at 6:30. I'm Amy Avery. We're on your side with team coverage of how some cities across our region are preparing for this system. But let's first get to meteorologist Don Slater for the forecast. Don?
All is quiet right now, and it's going to remain quiet coming up overnight and even into the first part of the day tomorrow. You can see what's going on this camera going on as I'm kind of walking at the same pace with the camera. You can see very, very quiet. The surf is not up, but that's going to start to really, really change.
This is crazy.
And what a morning it was. Florida residents shocked over the devastation from Hurricane Idalia. Good evening. I'm Tom Shad. The storm made landfall this morning in Florida's Big Bend near Keaton Beach. And you're looking at what it left behind after sweeping that part of the state with heavy winds and devastating storm surge. And we begin at 7 with a live look from Tower Cam 10. Right now, we're experiencing a big drop in the weather roller coaster we've experienced all week long, and there are more twists and turns ahead. Thank you for joining us. We're expecting a wintry mix to move in. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Edmondson has been tracking this system throughout the day.
Yeah, moving through the area tonight, but not anything that's going to cause problems on the roads or accumulate.
Important to note.
Yeah, so it's not going to be the bad kind of a wintry mix, just a few flurries and flakes that we'll see across our area into tonight. Looking at Super Doppler 10 tonight, we just have a little bit left.
Right off the top here at 6:30 with video from Chopper 10 as voters head to the polls for election night in Virginia Beach. In about a half hour, those polls will close, and so will all the other ones across the Commonwealth. It's a big day here in Virginia. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Amy Avery. 100 seats in the House of Delegates and 40 state Senate seats are up for grabs. The balance of power in the Commonwealth is at stake. And we're on your side with team coverage tonight. So let's start in Virginia Beach with Raven Payne, who's keeping track of voter turnout tonight. Raven, what's it looking like out there?
Yeah, well, we're down to the wire here in House District 97. The big question is, will it be Karen Greenhall or Michael Fagans who will get that House seat?
Closing time at polling places in Virginia is 7 o'clock. That's less than a half hour from right now. In North Carolina, you have a little more time. Polls close at 7:30 there. And if you're in line by the deadline, you will still be allowed to vote. We're back now with more on this important election day for Virginia. The folks at Old Dominion University have been following these races in the Commonwealth, and one of those people is Dr. Ben Molesky. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. He's an associate professor in the school's Department of Political Science and Geography. So in about 15 minutes, the polls are going to close tonight. Do you think we're going to know a lot of these races, or do you think we're going to have to wait till tomorrow to find out some of these?
Well, I guess the question is which races. A lot of the races we're not really following because for the most part they're either running unopposed, right, or they're in districts that are slam dunks one way or the other.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Aisha Tolliver. Today, 10 on Your Side is highlighting African-American leaders who make a difference in communities across the Commonwealth and the country. It's all a part of our Black History Month special.
So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. Speaker.
A big moment. We are back with a historic day in our state's capital. The moment Delegate Don Scott became Virginia's first Black Speaker of the House. And today we are shining a light on how he is breaking barriers at the state capitol.
Ready?
A beloved music teacher's legacy lives on through his students now 5 decades later. The I. Sherman Green Chorale was created for a Black History Month celebration back in 1972. And this weekend, the group continues Green's legacy with a special event. Our Kiana Patterson is on your side with their amazing story that lives on decades later.
The I. Sherman Green Chorale is still going strong after 51 years in Norfolk.
And 10 on Your Side will continue to honor trailblazers in the African-American community through the rest of the month. You can find more coverage on wavy.com. Thank you for joining us.